Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Lifestyle ProPhysique Code podcast. Today, we have two special coaches. We have Paul as well, which I'm excited he's back on. Um, you're special too, Paul. But I'm so incredibly excited to have Fatima and Matt on. I feel like you're a
What's
powerhouse
up?
team.
We
I love
try.
it. You are. Own it. Own it. You're a powerhouse team. Yes. Separately, you're amazing. Bringing you together, lights out.
Fire.
So, welcome.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Fatima.
much. Yeah, this is Fat's first Pro Physique
ProPhysique
podcast, and
podcast.
this is my first lifestyle Pro Physique podcast.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah,
thanks for coming on.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. I've told the listeners before, but I want to have more of the coaches on. I want the listeners to know more about all of you, and just all the talent we have surrounding us. Tell us a little bit about yourselves. I don't care who starts, but where
Fats
did
always
fitness?
starts.
Yeah, she
Oh, he's
always
such a
starts. All
gentleman.
right.
He's,
Yeah,
you know
tell
what?
us about yourself as a coach, who you are, why you got into coaching, how you got into coaching, and then there's a pretty awesome story that I want you guys to share too.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having us. I just wanted to say you're a very smart married man.
I
I
just
just
want to
want
get
to
shot at.
compliment
Yeah.
right up front. I love that. So you're trained well. Hi everyone, I'm Fatima, and I am so excited to actually share my story with all of you because I reached out to ProPhysique in 2020.
2020, it was just, yeah, it was after lockdown.
After lockdown. And to be honest, I had no idea what the coaching experience involved. Sorry, Paul.
I'd been telling her to hire a coach for like 2, 3 years because she wouldn't
Yeah.
listen to me.
I had no concept. I was like, what is a coach going to do for me online about fitness? Like it didn't make sense in my head. I didn't know who Paul was and reached out. And I remember at the time you were the one that was coached, or you were trying to get coached by Paul.
hmm
And Paul at the time was like, okay, I'll take you, but let's take your wife too. And I was like, okay, great. And now I had to Google Paul Ravella. I had no
Mm.
idea who he was. Googled him, got incredibly nervous because I was like, he has Olympians. I cannot be coached by a man who has Olympians. I'm gonna disappoint him. This is like the scariest experience ever. And luckily for me, it actually worked out really well. Shout out, Paul. Thank you very much. Lost 55 pounds in the process.
hmm
And I think just became obsessed with the idea that I really wanted to help people do exactly the same thing. So I kind of quit my job in corporate and started going down the avenues of like educating myself in this space. And now I'm here and I'm doing exactly that for everybody else. So it's really exciting for me to be here.
Yeah, that's incredible. Did Matt, did you have any say in the process, I guess? Or Fatima, were you like, no, like this is my thing. I'm going to learn, I'm gonna apply it, or did you ask a lot of questions to Matt? Because Matt, you were already coaching at the time, correct?
Yeah, I'd been coaching. I'd been coaching for a while, not for Pro Physique, but I'd been coaching for quite a while. I think I try to not engage with her process
Yeah.
because at that stage, if I said something, however valid it may be, she would do the opposite. So I was like, just that's why I was like, hire a coach, hire Paul, just trust him, just do what he says.
Because marriage, who wants their husband to be telling them how many calories to eat per day?
It's
Like that,
100%
that was
true.
not going to happen for me.
It's
I was like,
100% true.
no, it needs to be a stranger.
Yeah, yeah. And then Paul, would you, I guess, like, how did you approach it? Were you like, oh, well, I know how Matt kind of operates, so it's probably the same? Or were you like, no, 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 I'm just going to disconnect them completely. They are separate
Oh, I
entities.
mean, their situations were completely different. I
Yeah.
mean, with Fatima, for as I recall, because it's been a minute since I coached her, but I recall it wasn't necessarily that, the training, the nutrition, the cardio. It was more the external factors with her. It was her work, her stress, her
Mm,
sleep, and trying to get her to not almost be too hard on herself when she didn't make progress, and just allow her body to change for the better gradually. I think after a while, she learned that I wasn't there to like judge her or punish her if she had a bad week or a bad day. And then, the thing about Fatima's transformation is the the visual change is so drastic. I mean, we actually had people accusing us of like photoshopping her pictures,
Yeah,
um,
that's right.
Uh,
which I
if
found
they already
funny.
knew.
Yeah, and so it's like, just sometimes when you carry a little bit extra body fat, you don't actually know what's under there. And then some at some point with Fatima, the switch flipped where now she was being hard on herself when she was really lean, and I had to say like, "Hey, remember this? Give yourself
Yeah.
some grace. Look how far you've come." But I think that's what we all tend to do. We all tend to like use our current physique as our barometer for success. We don't always have the view of the forest that we just changed. Um, yeah. And then, for me, success as a coach would not be the same if you just help somebody look the way they wanted to look if they couldn't maintain it, but she's done a wonderful job maintaining it. And then I think now probably a little more self-managed, Matt can assist, things like this, but she knows what to do. So yeah, but very, very different. Because when I was coaching Matt, it was for bodybuilding competitions. And it's very,
Mhm.
um, it's a little more when I coach a competitor, it's a little more like, hey, this is what we got to do. This is our deadline. We know the dates. With a
There's no
lifestyle,
compromise on that. Like
yeah,
the dates of the
with
show is the dates of
lifestyle,
the
you
show, and the
tend to
standards are the
go,
standards.
you can't be too hard on somebody who has a bad week. Um, I think I remember you either got almost mugged or like just weird stuff was happening to you.
Probably a bad week.
Yeah.
Getting along.
There was a very traumatic period of time, like in
Yeah.
general. Yeah.
You know what the best part about that was, and I think like even working with clients now, it's something that I'm constantly encouraging them. If your life is tough and you're about to start a fitness transformation, generally as people, we tend to like want to pull away from that because it's like the factors are not supportive of our lifestyle or the things that we want to do. I did it in the toughest season of my life. And I think that it actually taught me more because I had to
Hmm.
build the structure in around me. So nothing was ever going to be perfect. There was never going to be a perfect time. It was just do it right now, just do it under the circumstances that you're in, and just give it your best to always win at something.
It's like
Do something.
if you can learn to do it when it's difficult, you're definitely going to be able to do it when it's easy.
Yeah,
You
and there were
know?
times where it was just like cruising through because
Hmm.
your routine is there, your structure is there, you know exactly what you need to do when, and it's just like brushing your teeth. It
Hmm.
just becomes like second nature.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's incredible. How has it been maintaining the progress that you were able to attain?
So it's been an easy process, but I must be honest in the fact that, your body goals change over time.
Mm,
So going into this, I was like, I don't want to be overweight. I just want to feel good about myself. And then when I had gotten to the end of the transformation, I was like, well, I'd like some more muscle. So now I'm going to go into a bit of a growth season. And then you kind of go the other way. And then it's like once you start feeling a bit fluffier, you're like, okay, hold
Mini
on.
cuts on.
Mini cuts. And then your mindset changes as you go, your goals change. And I think that it's such a beautiful thing because it actually will be like that for the rest of my life. I'm very happy with that thought and that ideology that I'm always going to be chasing something for the betterment of myself, right? So
I can say that the thing about your mindset that's improved so drastically is that you understand that nothing's written in stone anymore.
mm,
Like I saw it with you, and you see it with lifestyle clients in general. Like if you go on vacation and you come back 5 pounds up, they freak out. You have gotten to that point now where you realize, oh, I'm in control of this.
yeah.
I know how to deal with it. So if I gain 5 pounds, guess what? I'm going to be down 5 pounds in a couple weeks,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
yeah. What an amazing experience. And then now that you have had that experience, I'm sure that is beautiful to like hold on to and use when you're coaching others too.
Hmm.
It gives me so much pride, Danika. Imagine just from the perspective that I reached out to a company not knowing what to expect.
Mm,
Okay. I had no idea what my end outcome was going to look like. That transformation was like you're in the process and you don't know what the end looks like. It's like blind faith.
mm,
Eventually getting there and doing the transformation and feeling the way that I felt about ProPhysique at the time, I was like, this company has changed my life. Like,
No, legitimately.
I can never go back from this. I've learned so much from this about how to manage my own body and myself. And then to be able to take that and turn it into action and take the same passion that I have for it and give it to other people is a gift. It's an absolute gift for me. And I feel it now, particularly while I'm in the process, because when we were discussing guided coaching the other day for the ProPhysique transformation, I think I'd, done a video just to kind of introduce myself to everyone. And I think the main thing that I said in the video that I really felt was, I've been through what people are about to experience. I've walked the walk. I know what it's like to have the bad days. I know what it's like to strategize around times that are super difficult in your life. And those things benefit me in understanding my clients more because there's nothing that my clients can tell me that they've done that I haven't done myself. That's the beauty of it.
And you actually pass that off onto me too, because listen, I can very easily have a tendency to be a little bit drill sergeant-ish because I coach so many competitors and because of like my frame of reference is myself. But seeing Fats go through her transformation, it gave me a lot more empathy for people that haven't done it before or like learning it for the first time and are dealing with different challenges. So yeah.
Amazing. I love that story. Matt, how did you get started?
Oh, well, I got started quite a while ago. When I finished high school, I was like borderline obese. And I've told the story on the podcast a couple of times, but it's worth telling again. I was at a party and some girl made fun of me for being fat, and I was just like, I'm going to do something about this. I never want to feel that way ever again. And I tried a whole lot of different like methods and just tons of cardio and starving myself, and then I lost a lot of weight, and then I rebounded, and then I lost, and then I rebounded. And that's when I hired my first coach, and that kind of taught me the strategies, taught me the thinking behind it. But more importantly than that, that is what made me really, really interested in the coaching side of things. So I got into competing just really after my first 12 to 14 weeks with my first coach. And I only got into competing because I was like, I just want to learn more about coaching. I want to see what that looks like for an actual bodybuilding show. So I'd been competing for years and I'd been like, having, a couple of clients at a time, but I wasn't doing it full time. And then after lockdown, when, we had been like stuck at home for how long? Like months, no gym access. And then like eventually after like, month one, the diet starts deteriorating because you start losing motivation. So I thought, okay, cool. Now's a good time. We can both do this together. So that's when we reached out to ProPhysique, both signed up with Paul. She did her transformation. I ultimately moved into a contest prep. And yeah, the rest is history.
What was your full-time job prior to coaching full-time?
So while I was coaching, I owned a couple of like supplement stores. So
Okay.
that is kind of how the coaching came about because people would buy their supplements, they would buy like health food, and then
Yeah.
generally a lot of them would ask me for coaching. Thereafter, I actually worked as a head of sales for one of the bigger nutrition brands in the country,
Okay.
which was great. But all that time, I was still coaching on the side. And I was just always looking for the opportunity. How can I do this full time? Where it's really difficult to do that locally in South Africa. It's like really, really difficult because the majority of the population here don't have the expendable income. It's not as, I mean, fitness and bodybuilding is big, but it's not as big as it is, elsewhere in the world. And ProPhysique gave me that opportunity. So very grateful for that.
I feel like we didn't tell the listeners that you're in South Africa. Which
Oh yeah, if you see behind us, it's like what is it, 8:50 now?
Uh,
So you can
yeah,
see
20 past 8.
the darkness in the background.
yes, yes.
Well, it'd be better if we could see like some giraffes or some elephants or some lions.
Honestly, where's
You
the
can see
lion?
Fendi.
Yeah, I'm happy. That's all I can give you.
Oh, that is, I always think to myself, like, what what makes a really, really good coach, right? And this is my own perspective, but in my personal experience, what I've heard from others, it's like the paper is great, the education is needed. Like I feel like those are great things, but it's life experiences and being able to take those life experiences and use them as like strength and tools and sharing that information. And then it's putting that all in a nice little package mixed with like passion. And both of you have that through your life experiences. And then you can tell that it just radiates out in your coaching too.
Thank you.
We both love doing this very, very
Very
much.
much.
Yeah, you
And
can tell.
I think, what you just said is so important because the education, the knowledge, that should be a prerequisite.
Yeah.
That should just be the case for any coach that you possibly consider hiring. What is deciding what it was it the deciding factor should be something separate to that. Like, is this somebody that I can trust and develop a sense of communication with and rapport with? And can I, trust them to not judge me if I didn't execute correctly, but also hold me accountable without judgment, you
Right.
know? Yeah.
100%. Yeah, delivery of information, right? You can be the smartest person in the room, but if you have no idea how to deliver that information to the audience in front of you, what does it matter, right? And
Absolutely.
I've experienced that too from like the receiving end where I've had coaches that were amazing at what like knowledge wise, so smart, had doctorates and like all the things, but the way that they presented that knowledge, I was like, I'm sorry, this isn't clicking and I won't do what you're telling me, irregardless of like the couple of letters after your name.
But
Yeah,
it's also about, I mean, I'm sure you can feel it now. You have to have a different hat on for different clients based on their personality types, right?
100%.
So we're very fluid people in the fact that we can work with a completely different array of people. I mean, I look at it with you all the time. You have very, very strict, serious bodybuilders, but you also take on a lifestyle client that has never ever done this before, that is afraid of the process. Like, it's very impressive, actually.
Yeah. I mean, my only prerequisite is just, are you willing to put in the effort? Are you willing to be a little bit better than you were yesterday? Because eventually you'll get there. That's really the only thing. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, on that note, I want to highlight one of the transformation challenge. Was involved in a transformation challenge, right? Or no, just their own
No,
transformation.
completely outside of a challenge.
Just okay. So I can't wait to get into this because you have an amazing story about two clients. You each took on one. They happen to be married too. So how did this fall in your lap? And kind of walk me through, I guess, the details of it and how you both were able to watch this transformation happen individually. But did you talk together? Like, what did you do?
Yeah. So look, it's quite interesting because obviously, remember from the perspective that we are each other's co-workers every day.
Yeah,
We
true.
live together, we train together, we do everything together. So this was going to be like the first time that we were working with a husband and wife duo.
Which is like full circle from
That's
where
where,
we
yeah,
started with ProPhysique,
Right?
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it was quite a beautiful story because I had met Bridget and Bridget said to me, look, I want to change my life and I don't know how. I saw what you did and I want exactly that. And I was like, okay, first of all, I just want to clarify this takes time, right? This is going to be we're going to be in this for the long game. That was exactly what it looked like for me. And she was like, I'm here. I trust you. I just don't know how. And it was such a lovely story because she came to me with no idea how to track macros. But what she did was she got a little notebook that said, she pasted a picture on the front of it and it said something like, big dreams are achieved with little steps. And she wrote down everything that she ate in a week just to give me an idea of what her lifestyle looked like. And I was like, you know what?
And you calculated those
Yeah,
calories and macros.
calculated the
Yeah, to
calories
get
and
an idea.
macros just to understand. But I was like, you're already giving me some insight into your mindset because
Mm.
you have given it to me upfront and already done some level of work, right? So I was like, okay, I think this is going to be a good journey. And in the beginning, she was working out alone. She was going to the gym alone. So it was just her. Her husband had not joined at that time. And to be honest with you, Danica, I think it was a very tough process because we see it all the time. We would see a mom that comes in for coaching and they're preparing their food separately. They're preparing their kids chicken nuggets and fries and pizza every night and whatever their husband wants to eat as well. So I think it was a bit tough from that perspective in the beginning for her. And we started off slow. It was like, let's take our time. You're new to the gym. This is the first time. Let's do 3 days a week, just as like a slow integration. And as she started going into the process, and it was like the routine was clicking in, the light bulb moment of, oh, if I just do this on repeat and, continue the same activities over and over again, I'm actually going to win every single week. And those wins are going to add to big, transformations. And while we were going through this process, I think her husband was in the background and he was watching, and it was 6 months had gone by. And randomly one day he was like, it was over the Christmas period. He was like, okay, so, I'm kind of interested in what you guys are doing, but I just have to warn you, I don't drink water. And
It wasn't just that he doesn't drink water, it was that he refused to drink anything other than
Coke.
full sugar Coke.
Yeah,
I
just Coke.
don't drink any water.
I don't
I'm
drink water.
severely dehydrated.
Yeah. I don't eat vegetables. Like, we're gonna have to figure this out. And I was like, you know what? I think you need a male touch. So I'm gonna hand you over to this big guy, and I think you guys are gonna connect, and it's gonna be wonderful. And then
Yeah, I mean, I was I was so willing to try it because this would be like such a great story to tell. But from what I knew about Mark, I was like, this is going to be touch and go because there's some like I've seen him vehemently refuse to ever consider drinking a diet soft drink. Like he absolutely point blank refused. So I was like, listen, man, there are going to be some things here that you have to be negotiable on. And I think what sold him is not only was he seeing Bridget's very profound results, but he did make comments a few times of like, oh, I can't believe that she's still being able to eat that. How can she eat that? How can she eat that? And then I think he just liked how her food looked and tasted so much that he started eating it too. And then he was like, oh shit, this isn't bad. So truth be told, it was with a client that I thought might be a serious challenge. It was actually the easiest process I've ever gone through in my life.
Wow.
I saw that guy go from not eating a vegetable, not knowing what protein is, and drinking 6 to 8 liters. I don't know how much that is in ounces. Don't ask me to do the conversion of Coke per day to like within 2 weeks tracking macros better than some of my pro bodybuilders and just like engaging in the process, like wanting to learn everything.
Mm-hmm.
And if I asked him to do something, he would do it to an absolute T. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to bring the drill sergeant out. I didn't have to. He was his own drill sergeant.
Yeah.
And he even said to me the other day, not only has he made so much progress, but he said my tastes, my preferences have completely changed. It's like the stuff that I used to like, I don't even like it anymore. It's like now I actually want to eat vegetables and fruit and so on and so forth. So it was, I would love to take all the credit for it, but it was just so easy. It was him. Yeah.
I mean, we changed things up when Mark had joined the process because remember, Biddy was, sorry if I say Biddy, it's her nickname. Bridget was training 3 times a week at that point. And now, obviously, when her husband came in, it was like, okay, now we can integrate more days for you because we know the kind of body composition change that we want to achieve out of this. And so Matt and I were like, okay, team huddle. Let's do their training programs together because we want them to train together every day. We want them to enjoy this as part of their lifestyle and experience what we were experiencing. Because in the beginning, we never used to train together. You were doing bodybuilding prep, and I was like, embarrassed in the weight section doing my little bicep curls, going, oh my gosh, nobody look at me, right? So it was kind of interesting now to see them come in together. And then it was like, okay, Now we know what we want to do with their training program.
So funny.
Oh, it's true though.
I know.
Remember me?
Yes, I do.
It was shocking.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be here.
Uh,
So, when we changed their training programs and we decided to put them both on a 5-day split,
mhm.
and the two of us were looking at their exercises and obviously the areas that we needed to improve and some areas where they were strong at where we knew that
No,
they
they're
didn't have to
like
train
2 or
for the
3
long-
days where they were like 50% training together and 50% doing their own individual thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I thought it was important for both of them because, especially Mark, because she had been training now. Everyone at the gym knew her, so they was like greeting her by name, and now she's a regular there. And he was like, "Oh my God, like, I'm the odd one out." So I
Yeah.
thought at least while he's getting accustomed to it, like have them train together as much as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they started loving it, guys. So now okay, both of them have clicked into the process together. Okay. And we would see things like she would Bridget would check in with me and then she'd say, I have to be at gym a little later because Mark is going a little bit faster in his deficit. So he's doing a little bit more cardio. And I was like, oh girl, okay, we can push you too at this point and make sure that we're
The competitive side of things worked very well.
Okay.
So it was really nice to see them like truly take on the process together as teammates as well. Because even in the communication to us, it was like, hey guys, our kid's birthday is on X dates, X dates, X dates. We are going on this vacation throughout the year. So we were planning together and going, okay, let's, as long as, biofeedback allows for it, let's plan their diet breaks at the same time. Let's plan their periods of maintenance at the same time. Because we didn't want them to be one person's in a deficit and now the other person has more calories and they're enjoying a little bit more freedom and obviously
I think
reduced
Beth is also
activity.
self-referencing there.
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Yes, you hated that.
I hated it so much. If Paul put Matt on a diet break and he gave him more calories and I was doing more activity and I was still in my deficit, I would be mad at him. Not at Paul, at him.
So
Legitimately.
last year I was coaching Lorna Dunbar and her husband was working with one of our coaches that I wasn't coaching, and we weren't communicating about what we were doing with them because they were in different phases of prep.
Yeah.
And we were at a point in prep where I was having Lorna have a burger every week. She was like at a point where like that was helping her.
Yeah.
And her husband was not. So every week he had to watch her eat a burger.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Thank you, Paul. I think you did that to me with him. And while he used to be eating his food, I would be watching and I would be like,
It wasn't a burger. It was just like more,
doesn't-
just more of the same food.
like, is that nice? Does it taste good? How does it feel?
I
How does
think
it
we were
feel
we were
to you?
testing it out for her peaking protocol. So like every Friday we were doing it and see how she looked on Saturday, right? So it was like,
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So we had like at least tried
We
to
communicated on that. Yeah, for
because
sure.
I remember that experience and I was not having it in their relationship.
That's
Yeah,
so
but I mean the crazy thing is just you never know what you're going to get when you're taking on a new client. Like you can get somebody, and I'm sure you guys have experienced this, like the people that seem like they are so committed and they're just willing to do anything that it takes to get to the goal. And sometimes it doesn't work out. And then, Mark comes along, just completely unassuming, not interested in fitness, even remotely. No interest. No interest in nutrition, nothing like that. And he took to it like a fish to water. And I think now it's not just about the results. He actually enjoys this endeavor and he enjoys learning about it and he enjoys being educated about it. So that's what's really exciting because that is the thing that's going to mean you're going to maintain this forever.
But
right.
let's also not forget about the fact that even though both of them were so locked into the process and they were doing everything literally, I mean, these two were never like
To
a
a-
gram over
by
on
the
their
book,
on their
by the
macros,
book.
right? But I remember also, and I felt it with us, where men tend to lose body fat when you're in a process with them. They're losing more body fat than we are as females. So it's difficult on check-in day because I remember like
I don't think you're necessarily losing faster per se, but I think that it looks more linear sometimes. Yeah.
looks more linear. And I think also from the perspective that remember when I was in it, I think I was losing something like 300 to 600 grams per week. That was like my standard weekly average.
Which is like
So,
what 1.2 pounds?
yeah.
Yeah.
And Matt would just like, he would check in with Paul and he's like, oh, I dropped 3 pounds this week. And I would be sitting there like, this is, we're doing
There's more to lose from, you know?
But it's true. This does exist in husband and wife
Oh
dynamic.
no, 100%. Absolutely.
A
Absolutely.
comparison game, a little bit of a comparison game. Yeah. And I do
Yeah. Or
feel I think that maybe what women fail to recognize that we're a bit more complex. Like there's a
Mhm.
little bit more
very,
variables that are contributing to
very.
inflammation, water retention, hormonal fluctuations. Like, so I think that when we just get in that comparison mindset, we completely kind of dismiss all that stuff. We're like, but I should be doing exactly how he's doing, except for you are not like him and
Yeah.
you don't have the same
Exactly.
profile as him.
Yeah, it's just a bad frame of reference because if you look at it on like a average rate of loss per week, it could even be the same, but sometimes it definitely doesn't feel like that because of all those variables that are just affecting scale weight or measurements or visuals. But yeah, I can see why that would be frustrating.
Well, it's the human condition. Females
Yeah.
are conditioned to want to only look at the scale. That's how we see fat loss, right? It's like if the scale is not moving, that's our indication.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
easy to see the competition come through from there.
Yeah. But hopefully, well, I mean, we've definitely educated Bridget and Mark otherwise.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's amazing. Did you notice? I'm super curious if you noticed or did they communicate at all that their relationship actually improved too? Or did
I
they not
would
talk about
say,
that?
yeah, you know what? I would say it from the perspective of spending time together. Because think
Right.
about it like this. I mean, when she had begun the process, he was at home during all the times that she
Playing
was
PlayStation.
playing PlayStation, exactly,
Yeah. And drinking Coke.
and drinking Coke. And now to be able to do these things together, like you have the same goals. You guys know you've got to get your steps in today. No matter what, that is your initiative. So you're going to find ways together to be doing those sorts of things. So I think ultimately with any couple that does this together, and
Just
obviously
organically improves.
it organically improves because you're eating the same foods, because you're cooking together,
Mhm.
you are doing the same activities because you're working out at the same time.
Mhm.
I mean, if you have the support structure in the background to support that,
Doing cardio, getting
doing
steps together.
steps, checking in on the same day together, or even align their check-in days. So I think everything from that perspective, I would assume definitely gets better because of the time element.
Yeah. And
And
might
the
I
support
say,
element.
they have two kids that I just think now that's like the best possible example for them. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I would even say too, like there was just, it sounds like there was so much more alignment that started to happen, right? They were growing and merging their lives together even more. While they may have already had like kids together and a home together and everything like that, sometimes you can have all that, but your behaviors, your values, your morals, the way that you treat yourself perhaps isn't aligned. And I think that that kind of, puts little cracks and creases in the foundation of the home that you're trying to build. So without you guys really knowing it, you also became like this bond that helped them to solidify their home.
Yeah. And I'm so grateful that it became that way because I'm sure we've all had an experience where you have been coaching a client and either it's the wife or the husband that is with you as a client, and whichever partner is not being coached and they see their partner improving, sometimes it can go in a very different direction.
Oh yeah.
I've seen it go in a bit of a jealous direction of, you know what, I'm not comfortable with what you're doing right now. So
I've had it multiple times of somebody saying,
yeah,
I don't want you to look this good.
Yeah.
Like, you need to stop this.
yeah.
Yeah. Or like almost sabotaging. There's been, I know in my experience, there's been some like, I don't know why he's doing this, but every single day he goes to the bakery and he knows that I've asked him very politely not to bring home the dozen of donuts because we already have 3 dozen on the counter. Like, there's
Yeah.
manipulation that kind of happens, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah, it is really sad. I can't imagine going down that path because
I know, yeah.
knowing us going through this together and seeing
Yeah.
like the energy and the passion that it brings just to our lives, like it's very, very, it's actually such a beautiful thing to be able to merge so many things together and go,
Mm.
you know what? The goal, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same. It's the same. So it's sad to see it go that way for sure. And that's why like this story was so important for me because I was like, I want couples to do this together.
Mhm.
The fact that we had that full circle moment with Paul, where Paul was like, you know what? I'll take you on as a competitive bodybuilding client, but bring your wife. Let me coach her too. That was quite an interesting experience for me. And let me tell you, the beginning was actually quite funny because I recall even sending Paul a video and I asked him to be in the video. I asked him to be in the video. I was like, I need to tell Paul something, and I'm not.
I need you there for moral
I need
support.
you
She was very scared of Paul at that point.
sorry, Paul.
I'm very intimidating.
You're so intimidating. Can I just tell you? First of all, you have incredible, incredible clients. You have such a great reputation in the industry. So obviously, when I started doing my research on you, I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a big deal that this guy is going to coach me. This was like the biggest news of my life at the time. And like now looking at what you did for me in that moment and saying, jump on board, let me coach both of you, and seeing how different our approaches were, but how differently you treated us too.
Mm.
Look at who he is. This is the drill sergeant. This is the guy that is like, and I'm like a hippie. I want freedom and I want not too much restriction, but like just a little bit just to keep me in check. So it
Well,
was really nice to see that.
that's that's where success lies, is being able to find what works best for each individual person. Coaching isn't just if you're a hammer, everyone isn't a nail, right? You've got
Yeah.
to understand that there's a lot of different ways to reach a goal. And
Mhm.
if I only could tell you like, well, if you don't hit your macros, then you're a terrible person. Right? So
I was so scared of you, I would have believed you.
yeah, no, no. I
Yeah.
kind of, if I'm being honest, um, I probably associate more with the people that aren't the hardcore types. Like, because I used to think that way, like, oh, this is the only way to be successful. And I realized like the less constraint I gave myself, the better I actually responded, right? I did
Mm.
one prep where I did like tilapia and asparagus, and I did it like that way. Even though I was on macros, I was like, no, I'm going to make this the best prep. And I literally planned my day down to the second, and I did every session of cardio. I did it, and I did okay. And then I did another prep where I was a little bit more loose and I was a little bit more flexible with my schedule. And, sometimes I'd be on and off plan. Prep went much better because I just didn't have that like kind of stress on myself to be perfect. So I realized like, man, you can actually be perfect to be to the point where it's detrimental.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that actually is such a good point because talking about how to coach different people and different personalities, if I'm on prep and I'm not perfect, that stresses me out. So I'm not perfect for because I think, oh, like an extra 3 grams of carbs is going to make a difference, but psychologically it stresses me out. I
Right.
like everything
Yeah.
to be
Mhm.
exact.
Mhm.
So yeah.
But I think also to Paul's point, I mean, if we think about coaching Bridget and Mark,
Hmm.
they were so in tune with the process that like and also striving for perfection, just by the way, right?
And
They
Mark
they
turned out to have a very similar personality to me. He was like,
Correct.
everything needs to be perfect.
Needs to be
And
perfect.
I was trying to tell him, brother, relax yourself a little bit. Okay.
But it was such an interesting like point of view because they became so strict with themselves at one point that we were also saying to them, guys, you also need to be able to know when you should pull your foot off the gas
And enjoy your life a
and
little bit.
enjoy your life. I don't want to be the one to tell you that you need to enjoy these times. You don't have to be dialed in all the
Tell
time.
the story about the pizza thing.
So, so what had happened was we obviously, I mean, you listen, you learn from your clients all the time.
Mm.
And when we started coaching Bridget and Mark, like we said, they were going in absolutely perfect, not a gram of macros out of place anywhere. And so now Mark, obviously, I think he was going
I
through
put
a
him on his first, I
placement.
put him on his first diet break. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was very interested to understand, look, I like pizza. I
I think he
enjoy,
used to eat pizza every single week before he started with me. So it was like the one thing that he's like,
yeah,
I, I clearly can't fit this into my macros.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he went to the pizzeria. Okay. Now, most pizzerias will have their calorie nutrition or nutritional information on the menu. He went there to find out how many grams of cheese they were putting on a normal large
How
pizza that
many
he
grams
was
of dough?
ordering.
How, like
Like,
he went into the kitchen, asked the chef, made him take him through the process, and
and
wrote everything down.
And please note, we remember we've also done this. He's been in a bodybuilding prep. He's never done that, like actually physically gone into the
Nope.
kitchen and asked. So I was like, okay,
This
look,
man is
this
serious.
man is serious. He knows what he's doing here. And I think a couple of weeks previous now, like in December,
Hmm.
the two of them were like, look, we're super grateful for everything that you've done for us. We'd like to know if you can join us for pizza. And I was thinking, okay, well, are we going to go somewhere and you're going to ask the chef exactly how much is going on this pizza? Because that's high level. They actually started making their own homemade pizza
Yeah.
that fits into their macros that they have every single week with
But
their
like
kids,
made from scratch, homemade pizza.
made from scratch.
Nice.
Yeah.
Guys, it is better than any pizza I've ever had in my life, to be
Hmm.
fair. I mean, after we tasted
No,
it, I
that's
was like,
incredible.
you know what you're doing here. But it was just so interesting to see that level of detail coming out of them, where I was also like, you
Do you know
can
how many chefs have been created because of macros?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
People will, I'm boring, Matt. I'm like rice
Me too.
and ground beef. I'm cool.
Me too. Yeah.
Some of my clients are like, oh no, they've got 17 ingredients. They've got it all planned out, mapped out, tracked. I'm like,
Hmm.
man, you guys are way more in tune with being a chef than I'm just like, get me my food, let me weigh it, and I'm ready to eat.
I'm good if I can have like one flexible meal like that a week.
Sure.
But outside of that, I prefer like ease of use. I just need it to be
Yeah.
easy to prepare and easy to get down, and then I'm happy.
I think that your food choices change though as you become more entrenched with the process because
Oh, when I'm in prep and I'm dieting, then I try and get fancy for sure.
well, ask a bodybuilder how to make anything low calorie and
Yeah,
delicious, and they definitely know. But I
100%.
mean, even just from a from a lifestyle perspective, when I was starting the process, do you remember what it looked like for me?
Hmm.
It was if it fits your macros, because I was trying not to steer too far away from my lifestyle, even though my food choices weren't that great. And obviously it adapts, right? You become better as you're more entrenched in the process because your energy levels feel different. You become addicted to that feeling. So you start paying more attention to your nutrition as time goes on. And
Well,
like,
you also get to that point where you're like, okay, I can fit pizza in my macros, but then I'm starving for the rest of the day. So,
so
I prefer not to do it. Yeah.
yeah. And like now looking at it 5 years in, do you think I eat the way that I used to eat
No, you eat
previous
so
in the
well
past
now.
life?
Yeah.
But it's so different because I'm also now becoming that repetitive eater that's
Mm.
also eating ground beef and rice just
Oh,
because
that's
I don't want to think
interesting.
about food. I don't want to think about food. I know what fuels me. I know what works. I know what's easy and what's delicious. I mean, I love
Yeah.
food, so it must be delicious.
We all, so the thing about learning to track macros, because I remember the first time I got my macro plan, I really had no concept of
Hmm.
how much it was going to change me. I just knew like, okay, these people are doing it, I can do it. And the problem now is if I'm at a restaurant like Chipotle and someone is in line in front of me and they get their food, when they put the sour cream on and then they put the guacamole on and then they put the
Yeah.
cheese on, I'm just thinking like you just put 2,000 calories on top of your meal and you don't even know it.
Hmm.
Like it's hard to look at food the same.
Yeah.
Mm.
It becomes
Yeah.
like it becomes hard to just enjoy something that you used to enjoy because now you know the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true. And that's, a lot of I don't know if you guys get this, but a lot of people will ask me about the concept of intuitive eating. And my response to them is like, it can work, but you have to earn it. And the way that you earn it is you track for a really long
Mhm.
period of time, really diligently, because then you have ingrained in your head, you can just, like Paul said, look at something and you can be like, that's an extra 2,000 calories. So I'm going to
Hmm.
cut down on that by half or whatever the case is, you know? But it only works if you put in the work prior to it.
Yeah.
Mm.
And also your energy levels around it. Like think about us when we go on vacation, right?
Hmm.
Normally we're eating, well, I'm eating like 45 to 50 grams of fats on a day-to-day basis.
Hmm.
When you go on vacation, you're a little bit loosey-goosey with food because, it's 2 weeks of your life where you can be a little bit more aggressive with fattier foods. And when you eat 100 grams of fat in one day, you feel it. The next morning,
Oh
you're like,
yeah.
oh no, I'm not gonna,
I can't do that again.
do that again. I don't feel good.
That's so it's interesting. I can't, my situation is so different with going into bodybuilding and doing, if it fits your macros, I was already doing it since I was 11. So like I was already tracking for type 1 diabetes that like there's always been a calculator on food.
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah.
that actually makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So this
when
is like your
people,
whole life. Yeah.
yeah. So what's interesting is that sometimes like I'm not training, I'm not prepping for a show, I'm not doing anything like that. I don't track my food. But I have said to people before, like, I would love to get into intuitive eating. I will always have a calculator. So if you guys don't need that calculator, like I would encourage people when they do try to tap into that, like try to, I guess, disconnect from that because it's very ingrained when you do track macros. I think that it just
Mm.
becomes second nature for us to look at something and be like, "Meh, that's about 4 ounces of chicken. That's about 25 grams of protein. That's about," right? Like if you have the ability to disconnect and not have that be activated all the time, it probably feels really freaking good. Like, so do it because I wish that I could do that.
I think it feels really good to get back to tracking after a period of time of not doing it.
I probably, yeah. I
That's what I
mean,
look forward to.
yeah,
Same.
I can
Yeah.
see that too. Um, so now, fast forward, you've done that transformation with them. Are you still working with both of them?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
are. Oh my gosh. And are they in like maintenance right now? Where are
Mark's in a
they?
build Mark's in a building phase, like a proper building phase, because
Okay.
I mean, it actually kind of sells his transformation short to be focusing on just the fat loss side of things, because he gained a significant amount of muscle even during the deficit. Because remember, all of this is completely a completely novel stimulus to him.
Right.
I think the last time he had stepped foot in a gym was when he was like in high school. And since then, he had never, well, I think maybe his entire life, he had never eaten correctly. So, taking in the correct amount of protein and like X amount of steps per day and training several times a week, it's all a completely new stimulus. So he
Yeah.
lost a ton of fat, he gained a bunch of muscle. And then I think when he got lean enough to see how much muscle he was gaining, he was like, oh no, I want more of this. Let's go into a
Mm,
building phase. Yeah.
Well,
incredible.
Bridget is still in a deficit right now. So we're trying to look, I never really like to chase a number on a scale. It's more an aesthetic look. Let's see where you get to, where you're comfortable with what that looks like.
But the number can be a frame of
The
reference
number can be a
for
frame
them
of
to aim towards.
reference. So, I mean, we're thinking like another 15 pounds down. And then, honestly, with her, we're going to spend about 6 months in maintenance and just keep her there so that she's happy, really learns to be okay with being in maintenance for such a long period of time.
Yeah.
Because you know what the feeling is like. If you've been in a deficit and you're so used to seeing the scale dropping all the time, that's a measure of progress, right? So your brain becomes used to that. I'm really excited to see her being in maintenance, and then we're gonna put her in a bold phase as well because she wants some muscle. So
Yeah,
it's
and
gonna
yet
be
when
a
somebody's been in
journey.
such a long fat loss phase, you have
Yeah,
to show them that maintenance is the real flex.
it really is.
Like getting to that point is amazing. Having the ability to maintain that, that's a lot more impressive.
Yeah. And I mean, the benefit, well, at least from what we're seeing now, right? I love maintenance. It's actually my favorite place to be in with a client or even with myself in my own body goals, just purely because you can achieve so much there. I
Mm,
feel like, especially with females, so focused on being in a deficit, so focused on losing weight, but being strong is also really a good goal to have. Changing body composition
And
is maintenance,
just feeling good.
great calories, feeling good, having your energy levels up. It's a great place to be. So I'm really excited for that phase for me.
Mhm.
yeah, that's incredible. How important do you think it is? I kind of know the answer, but to have a teammate or like the close support through these journeys, like to have someone doing it with you.
I think it's like that is probably the key to success in a lot of people's case. Yeah. Or the lack thereof is probably the reason why they fail.
Mm,
I think you can do it alone. I think it's virtually impossible to do it with a partner that doesn't support you. And I think it's 10 times more likely that you will succeed if you have a partner that does support you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. And what do you feel? So say someone is going on these journeys with fitness and health and they have their set goals. If you were to articulate to them, like, here is something that you can present to your partner or a friend, or what, I guess, what script would you say is the best way to bring somebody on board that you would recommend?
What would you say?
So I wouldn't really, I think it's this case that taught me this,
Mhm.
in that I don't think that there is a perfect script for getting someone to join this process with you. I think you, as the person that is about to join any type of fitness transformation or body transformation, you have to be ready to do it,
Mm,
right? Because you're going to be the one that's putting in the work. And I think what was nice and beautiful in this case is that she didn't have to say anything. He could see her
There we
every
go.
day.
That
He
was
could
my answer
see the
too.
right.
progress every day. He could see everything that was happening and how her mindset was changing in front of him. And it was like, oh my gosh, my wife is turning into this different animal.
Mm,
Because remember, it's not only about fitness, it's not only about the macros, it's about who you're becoming in the process. It's about how you're changing things during
yeah.
that time, how your thinking changes during that time. So I think for me, at least in this case, it was seeing that difference live in action
Mhm.
every day, seeing how she changed with her children, seeing the inputs that had to go into it, and the dedication to herself that kind of like made, I personally believe that he looked at it and he was like, I want that. I want that for myself.
I think he looked at it and said, I want it, but also looked at it and said, oh, this is something that I can actually do.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people have the frame of reference that, like Paul said, it's going to be broccoli and tilapia, you know, and to see it firsthand of, oh, she's eating foods that now I want to eat, even though I'm not on on a diet, and she isn't more tired, she's actually more energized, even though she's going to gym and she has like, extra time investments during the course of the day, she's actually more energized. What words are you going to say that's going to be a better sales pitch than that doesn't exist? To experience it firsthand like that, that is
Mhm.
what's going to sell it to somebody.
Right. Well, it took her also to be very confident in what she was doing. Like, no, this is for me. This is what I'm going to do. I'm committed to
Mm.
this. I'm signing the contract for myself with myself, and I'm going to follow through no matter if he's on board or not on board. And then all of that nonverbal communication played the strongest role in him being on board.
Yeah.
Mm. And I think there is something to be said about like your transformation being a big factor in that because if I were coaching Bridget, I think I could have asked her to do the same things, but it's very easy to interpret that as well, you're asking me to do these things. You're a competitive bodybuilder. Your expectations or standards are maybe higher than what they should be. Whereas fats is, I know for a fact, you're never going to tell somebody or ask somebody to do something that you didn't do.
Yeah.
Also, married, also with a corporate job, very, very little time. Like Paul said in the beginning, like lots of stress, compromised sleep, like, and, a process that looked like this, not like that, you know?
Mm.
So when she has that understanding and she's looking at fasting and going, well, she was able to do it and she's only telling me to do things that she did to be successful, I don't really have an excuse. I just need to follow it. And she's also not telling me that I have to be perfect every week. Like what do I have to lose here,
Definitely. And I think also, look, from my perspective and just obviously going through it myself and breaking narratives that I had in my own head when I was going through the transformation, because I always reflected, I remember how scared she was to do it. It was like, oh my gosh, I have to go to gym by myself and I have to be in the weight training section. My husband's not there. My husband can't show me what to do, right? I think watching her overcome that was really, really important to me, because I was like, I know. I know what you've been, I know what you're experiencing right now. Just keep going and just keep fighting for yourself every day. It was really cool to watch.
People, that is a really important point, because people see the physical transformation. They go like, oh my God, that's amazing. But the far more profound one and an important one is the mental transformation. Because I remember when you were initially coaching her, it was like, what, a year before she actually went, or 6 months before she actually would go to the gym. But she was training at home with
training at
like,
home, that's true.
dumbbells and etc.
Yeah.
And then to see her out of her own accord get to a point where she had built up enough confidence to say to Fats, I actually want to join a gym now. That was awesome. That is more awesome than the before and after pictures.
And you know what was even better about that? I remember at the time making a suggestion. I was like, look, we live in the same area. I can come to the gym with you. I can show you what to do. Just 1 week with me, you'll be okay. And she was like, no, let me do this on my own. And I was like, okay, that's pretty impressive. Yeah.
And now on a couple of occasions, they've both come with us to gym and joined a big team session with all of my competitors.
That's
And they're just
amazing.
there. They're in it. It's like they're not competing, but they take it as seriously.
And they come to bodybuilding
They
shows.
come to bodybuilding shows. They support all my athletes on stage. Yeah, it's very
I
cool.
would be surprised if one day, just one day, they decide to do a show.
They get a little bit of an itch.
Well, their daughter's already said she wants to be a bikini competitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Peyton is like what's 8 or 9?
Yeah.
Something like that.
She came to a bodybuilding show and I was like, do you like this? Like, are you interested? Because, it's very glitzy and glamoury with all the bikinis and the makeup and the hair. And she was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And I was like, okay, girl, I know a coach. When you're ready, I know a coach.
Yeah, that was where Pets and Tians won their pro cards. Yeah, so I think she was like also, oh my God, like exciting trophies, medals. Yeah, yeah.
Guys, we're breeding a family here. Breeding a family.
Yeah.
That's what I'm taking up now.
And she is a little athlete, eh?
I know.
Yeah, she is.
Well, congratulations on that success, because it speaks volumes to your coaching together, but then also, like I said in the beginning, the experience that you both have had personally clearly radiated through your coaching for them. And that built that rapport and the trust, and being able to identify like what best communication style do I need to use with them, and how do I continue to support them, and how do we navigate schedules together, because this is a team effort. Do you feel that this could be the beginning of a little niche?
I would love that, yeah. Because it's so enjoyable.
It is
Oh
so
God,
enjoyable.
I
And
can, yeah, amazing.
we've had quite a few couples so far. We've had Alyssa and
Yes,
Chris.
yes.
We've had Mimi and Benjamin.
Mhm.
So it's
Well, that's new. That's like
Yeah.
early days, yeah.
it's building momentum. I think this is definitely a place that we're gonna explore a little bit more because now we know how to work together. So now that
Yeah.
because when you're a coach, you're obviously doing things as a coach with your client. And now we've had to combine our resources, not only on filming content, but
Mhm.
on doing something like this. And we're like, yeah, this is pretty fun.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, I kind of alluded to it in the beginning, but what's great about it is that you do kind of learn and pick stuff up from one another. I think,
Hmm.
Fats has learned over time to maybe be a little bit more direct and hold people accountable, and I've learned to be a little bit more patient and
Empathetic.
empathetic,
Yeah.
So I think working together actually allows us to find our balance as individual coaches too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. My husband and I have talked. He is not a coach, but he's like, when I retire, I think I might just like hop on the team. And I'm like, whew, we got some work to do with how you deliver information because we we are not aligned. And I am very much a mental health, and he's like, let's just be the team leader of a SWAT team. So
Hi, Danika. Would you like to come to us so that we can coach you guys in how to do that? Because that's exactly who we are right now. We have the
Yeah.
SWAT
yeah,
team leader, and I'm,
yeah.
But to
yeah.
be
But
fair,
also
some people like that. It's not that
some
he has to change
people,
his approach.
yeah.
It's just that he would need to find the right clients.
Some people need that. And you know what? I think it's really good to have that skill because as a coach, it's something that I know that I have to work on too. It's hard to I think being a mindset coach at times blurs the lines a little bit of like, is this too soft? Am I catering into feelings? Sometimes things need to be very factual. Like
Mhm.
sometimes it is, here are the facts, here are the details, like, and let's execute program, right? Like sometimes people do need to be held accountable in that
Hmm.
way where there isn't this like emotions that are kind of threaded into it. I find that there's no place for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a time and a place for everything, and a lot of
Yep.
it comes down to who you are coaching, which is why the alignment between clients and coach is so important. I will say to everyone on the that initial call that I have with them, just to put on your radar, the way that I work is I'm very, very direct and I'm very honest
Mhm.
and I'm going to give you very straightforward feedback.
Yep.
And that's never going to be a criticism and it's not a judgment. It's just, I feel like it's my job to get you to whatever your goal is as efficiently as possible. And I'm not going to do that by beating around the bush. So if you don't like that, I can refer you to a colleague that has a slightly different approach.
Yeah.
I think it's just aligning your personality with the right kind of clients as well,
Yeah.
you
Right.
know?
Yeah. And you let people know what to expect right up front.
Mm,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's
Which is really,
important.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's
exactly.
so important for the listeners to hear if they are venturing out into finding a coach and like the interview process is really important for both
Hmm.
sides, right? Being able to have, I think when we take on calls, part of it is kind of motivational interviewing in a way, but also gathering, what is this client? Where are they at? What is their baseline? And then vice versa, like they're trying to figure us out too, and will it
Hmm.
click? Because at the end of the day, it shouldn't be taken lightly. Like I feel like,
Exactly.
it's a
Hmm.
really important role in someone's life. And if you are entrusting someone with your livelihood and your health and like your physical and mental and emotional self, you should probably make sure you're interviewing them and
Hmm.
hearing them and gathering the information. We probably should be able to do this with our doctors and like other people that are involved in our wellness, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is such an important point. Like it's actually like it becomes such a important relationship. Like for
100%.
somebody that becomes invested in the process, you I don't want to say you necessarily become friends, but there's a closeness there that you're not going to just have with an acquaintance. You,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because you're asking, you're finding out about like fairly sometimes intimate details of people's lives because it's relevant to their recovery or their sleep or, whatever the case, the stress levels or whatever the case may be. So you don't want to be relaying that information to somebody that you don't at least definitively trust, and trust their guidance and trust their feedback.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for sharing that story. I've learned so much about both of you, even through, hearing you talk about that particular story, but then your own journeys and supporting one another and how you relay information to clients, and that you're still both growing and learning as you go. And you're very much embracing that, which is really important. You're not stuck in your ways at all, and you're continuing to evolve as you get opportunities like this to coach.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I think it just keeps getting better, especially since we get to do it together.
I mean,
As
it
it
is,
should.
but how do you feel about like your biggest competition being in the same house as you? Just asking for a friend. I mean,
That's why I push competitors.
I
Because
love it.
I know that you have me beat.
I love that.
oh man,
Paul,
I have to keep
anything
you on
that
your
you
toes.
wanted to ask or say? I feel like I just took over, Paul.
No, I mean this is why you're running the show. This is your podcast. No, I mean everything was well explained, and yeah, having coached people that don't have support at home versus the people that kind of share their passion, it's huge. In fact, I just had a client discovery call this week, and while I was on the phone with the gentleman, at the end of it, his wife jumped on the call, and she's like, "Ah, I love listening to this. Can I join too?" And I thought, well, listen, if you guys are in the same house, of course, it's only going to benefit both of you if you're both
Yep.
doing the same things. If one of you is going out drinking 3 nights a week and the other one's in the gym, it's going to cause problems. So, yeah, I think that type of compatibility is huge. And like I think Matt said it really well. You can do well if your partner is not on the same journey as you, but you will not do well if they are almost combative or anti your
Mhm.
success in this arena. I've had clients that are like, "Oh no, my wife hates that I track food and does all these things," and I almost hate to tell them like something's going to give. Either
Mm,
he's going to give in,
Yeah.
or you're going to give in, or it ain't going to last. Because
Yeah.
the person you are when you first get into bodybuilding, you change. Who you are changes to a degree, and not that you become a worse person or a better person, but you just look at things differently. You start to accept less nonsense from people.
Priorities change.
Your friends in your life will change. Like
yeah.
you'll find out that, oh, those were just my drinking friends, and now that I'm not drinking
Yep.
3 nights a week, I don't necessarily see them. Doesn't make them bad people. My life has just shifted. The people that I
Yeah.
spend the most time with are the ones that have similar interests to me. So it's just
Yep.
natural. So if the person that you lived with, if they're not at least sharing an interest in what you're doing, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Mm, absolutely.
100%. Well, where can our listeners find you both?
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
I love
Well,
it.
Yeah, they are, they
that's
are.
soon to be YouTube.
Are we announcing that
Oh,
already?
awesome.
Yeah, I'm refusing to not allow her to start a YouTube channel.
Oh, I
Listen,
have to.
she's so well spoken, so good on camera. She needs to be
And her
doing it.
personality sparkles. She has to do
Thank you,
it.
Paul. I speak good English. It helps. It helps. No, I
It
think
helps.
it helps. No, but I think, look, it's important for me, and this is like we're launching this YouTube channel now in February, but just important for me to be able to document the process of like what I experienced and what I went through, and hopefully help some people along the way that know nothing about nutrition and nothing about fitness, like the first time gym girlies. What are you doing in the gym? Let me help
Yeah.
And
you.
people like
So,
that don't want to watch my videos. They're like, who is this guy? He's boring. He's like obnoxious. You are sparkly and fun, and even boring
oh,
stuff you'll make sound
such a
interesting.
good husband.
I know, I'm amazing.
Such a good husband. Well, that
Oh
will be
man.
incredible. That'll be, you are, I just interviewed Kara Corey, and she at like 40 years of age, or maybe it was 39. No, she said by the time I'm 40, she's 42 now. She's like, by the time I'm 40, I need to make a shift, because she was in corporate and she she was just in this world of still coaching. She was coaching, she's a registered dietitian, but like she was feeling so drained. And at 40, she was like, I'm done. She like got rid of her career and went full in into her passion and hasn't looked back since. And
Mm.
it's amazing to watch when women are able to do that, and men too, obviously, but when they find something that speaks so much to their soul, then you could talk about anything, but like you're so passionate about it that that's what the
Exactly.
listeners hear. That's what they see. And they're like, I want more. Give me more. And then it's not work because you're just
Yeah.
talking life. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
You're,
living
you're
it.
talking about what you would be talking about anyway. There's just a
Right.
camera recording you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Well, I am so excited for the upcoming Transformation Challenge to start. It starts February 9th. I think this will be out after it begins.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Right, Paul? Yeah, because it starts on Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the initial pictures start
Yeah.
then. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But
I think
people
it's
can
going to be a
still
good
sign
one.
up.
And we actually have a few South Africans doing this one too.
Yeah, we really
Awesome.
do.
Yeah.
I just
Mm.
want to also specify, because we all have a discount code that needs to be used. I beat Matt with my discount code.
For
You
exactly
beat
the
him?
same. This is my evidence. I could be saying the same thing, but everyone's going to use her discount code because she's pretty and she's sweet.
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's a transformation challenge. I was selling myself very hard on the fact that I know what you've been through.
I know
So
what a transformation is.
yeah, I know what this looks like. So we made one reel together and I was like, I'm gonna
Yeah, but then
dethrone you, right?
She
you're
makes
speaking
she makes
to
these
your
threats that I know they're not jokes. I know them to be true.
That's an
She's like,
absolute
I know I'm going to beat you, and I said, yes, I know you are.
No,
I know you are.
that is an absolute lie. When we filmed this reel, do you know what he said? He said, he said, if you want to use my code and you want real execution. And I was like, excuse me, I am showing real execution too, as is evidenced by Bridget's transformation on Instagram.
Okay, well, you
It's
won
like,
that competition. Okay.
thank you very much. I love it when humble
How
pie.
old were you when you had that girl say that comment to you?
17, and
Yeah,
I'm now
that
39.
17-year-old Matt came out when when Fatima was like, I've been through a transformation. The 17-year-old was like,
Yeah,
so have I.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
have I.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. She
Well,
won.
thank
It's
you
okay.
both for coming on. I appreciate, it's now what, 10? What time is it there?
20 past
9.
9.
Yeah. So I really appreciate you both coming on. I can't wait for the listeners to get to know you, to watch your YouTube. That'll be incredible. I can't wait for
Yeah.
that. But thank you both for being amazing individuals, amazing coaches, part of the team, part of the clan.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
having
for
us,
having
as
us.
always.
Yeah.
Of
That was fun,
course.
guys.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.
Bye.